Hey YouTube, it's Dillon James, and on today's video, I am joined by Investacard CEO Edward Siegel to dive deep into the Sports Card Advance program that just launched from Investacard, and to learn more about how you as an investor or collector can get involved in the new program. Hey everybody, I'm here with Edward Siegel from Investacard. Eddie, how are you doing tonight, sir?
We're doing great on this Saturday night. I appreciate you having me on, and yes, we are live from
Yes.
on this Saturday night with Cardbase. I think this is the second time, right? We're running it back here. So
running it back here. Yeah, it's been about a month. Like we talked about at the very end of the interview last time, you said you wanted to reach back in about a month. So it's been about a month now. What's been going on in the world of Investacard the past few weeks since we last spoke?
Actually, it's probably been longer than that. It's probably been almost, I think maybe about a couple of months. It seems like a little bit longer. We've been super busy. Obviously, about a month ago or so ago, I had COVID, so recovered from that. So I was out of work for about 3 weeks, recovering from COVID, but we're almost at 100%.
Good.
And but we've been focused on, our brand new service, the Sports Card Advance financial product. 100% focused in on that. We went live with that in Tampa at the Collectors Con last week. What I mean by live is we were funding right at the booth, doing approvals with with new customers, giving out numbers and funding right from the booth. And we had a successful show, funded a bunch of deals, as well as generated a lot of new customers, a lot of leads and stuff, a lot of positive interest in the product. So we're excited, and we can get into the sort of the nuts and bolts of that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's dive into that then. So Sports Card Advance, we had kind of talked about it a little bit. We hinted at it before in our first interview, but now it's live. Now it's going. Everything's been good so far. Kind of give us a rundown of the Sports Card Advance. I know there are some high level points on your website on Investacard.com speaking about this program, but just kind of give us kind of like a high level version, a little bit more detailed version actually of Sports Card Advance and how somebody can get involved in this. As you provide liquidity to the market.
Yeah, the goal is to put some liquidity back into the market, and I wanted to create a product or a service to where a collector or an investor had another option aside from just selling their card or being maybe forced into a trade. A lot of collectors and investors want to hold on to their cards, and for guys that have some equity in their cards, maybe they've been holding that high-end card or that mid-range card for, let's say, a year or two, and they've got some nice equity in it. Instead of selling that card, we want to give them an option to where they can pull equity out, similar to like if you were pulling equity out of your house, but still keeping 100% ownership of it. It is not a loan. It's an advance on the market value of the card, and we go up to 70% of the market value on that card. And I know in some cases, sometimes it's even tough to, when you go and sell the card, like it shows, sometimes it's tough to even get 70% from a dealer. So wanted to create another, alternative to where we can put capital in a collector's or an investor's hands really fast, give them the ability to own 100% of that card still. We do it over a 6-month term. Like I said, we advance up to 70%. And we have simple weekly payments where they pay that back weekly. There's a couple of different options for them to pick from in terms of how they pay it back weekly. They can do it either with what we call, the factor rate and the principal, or just the factor rate by itself. Again, it's not a loan. It's an advance on the market value of that card. We use what we call a factor rate, and that factor rate that we charge a one flat cost. There's no interest on it. So we charge a flat cost, and the factor rate ranges from anywhere from like 1.12 all the way up to like 1.18. So for round numbers, the average factor rate could be somewhere around like 1.15. So for a $10,000 advance, the payback would be $11,500, no more, no less. And on option number one, if they pay back the factor rate and principal together, every payment goes towards the balance 100%. So it's not like interest where you're paying, most of your payments are going towards interest and a small amount is going towards principal. We also offer a lower weekly payment to where they can just pay the factor rate by itself, and then they have the advance balance that would be due at the end of the term. The max term is six months. There are some cases where the borrower might want to do it shorter than that. So we offer anywhere between 3 and 6 months, but most of the deals are going out like 6 months right now. They can pay it off at any time. There's no prepayment penalties whatsoever. So, if a card goes up in value and they want to get that card back or those cards back, they can pay it off early. As a matter of fact, we offer them a discount if they pay it off early. And for one reason or another, if the market goes down in value, and they decide that they don't want to make their payments, or they want to put a request in to have that card sold, they can request to have that card sold. We would then sell that card.
Oh, wait a second. We lost you there on the audio.
Yeah.
There you go. We got you back.
If the card market goes down, as we've been seeing it, we assume all the risk on that side. So that's where the risk comes in on the Investacard side. The market goes down, you can put a request in to have the card sold. We would sell it, pay off the balance. If for some reason there's not enough to pay off the balance, then we would be assuming the risk on that side. The borrower is not at risk. So a lot of flexibility. And there's a lot of flexibility, not just from an investment standpoint, from a collector standpoint that's maybe looking to get in some bigger cards. Maybe he's got his eye on a bigger card, but he doesn't want to sell that, those cards that he has right now. Maybe he's got his eye on other investments and he wants to pull equity out and put the funds into maybe other investments, and looking for a return over the next 6 months. Also some good opportunities for card store owners that are holding some high-end stuff and they need capital for wax, they need capital for inventory, and they can pull that capital out of those cards that maybe they don't want to sell, or maybe cards that have been sitting in their showcase for quite some time. So we had the opportunity to do some of those deals just this past week with a few store owners that need wax. And you can't walk into a bank with those cards, and we wanted to create another option with this sports card advance. And it seems like we're getting a lot of good positive feedback from it. Of course, when you're introducing a brand new product within a space, sometimes people don't understand it, or they're looking at it maybe from a negative view. But our goal is to really fund the hobby, and we're super flexible on this. We're not looking to put people in debt or default on them. It's super flexible. So if somebody runs into some hardship or they can't make a payment here or there, then we'll take payments. We'll move it to the back of the term. As long as they stay in communication with us. The whole entire program is fully automated from start to finish. We can usually approve a card within a couple of minutes, and then get the customer to agreement. We link up their bank with a third-party company called Plaid. Once we verify their bank, because we need to have a bank account to put funds into and to obviously pull our weekly automated payments from. At that point, the whole process usually takes just a few minutes. Once we receive the card, then the funds would go into their account, all fully automated, and with reminder messages a day before payments are going to hit. So a lot of good automation, a lot of good technology went into this. Of course, speaking of technology, a big part of how we price deals out and how we approve deals is with the Cardbase platform, our partnership with Cardbase, and being able to have real-time data, and really good data. That's how we're able to price these deals out super fast. So we integrated with Cardbase, and within a couple of minutes, we can go from approval to funding. So hopefully I gave you the gist of the the sports card advance and how it works.
Yeah, and especially with Cardbase, trying to mitigate that risk as much as possible on both sides. I mean, I think that's great, utilizing our technology we have on this side. But a few questions, kind of follow up questions with the Sports Card Advance program. So, an advance and a loan. Kind of give us. I know you've been in the financial world for quite some time. Kind of give us a rough definition of the difference between those two things.
Yeah, so we went the route of calling it an advance or structuring it like an advance, because that's what it is, right? Um, a loan, you know, obviously, if whenever you go for a loan, you got to provide credit, right? You've got to run your credit, and it's credit based. A lot of the loans are credit based, personally guaranteed. And in regards to the payments, like I said before, it's not. There's no interest. We charge a flat fee to use our capital. And the way that we set this model up was we wanted to give the investors or the collectors the ability to put their hands on fast capital with not a lot of red tape, and to do it. Everything is about speed, right? Everything is about speed. So we created a platform to where they can put their hands on the money super fast. We advance up to, like I said, 70% of the market value on that. So, we're taking a huge risk on that end of it. And you know how the market is, up and down and stuff. So, but we've got a pretty good algorithm. We've got a pretty good grip on the market. And of course, with the partnership with Cardbase, being able to watch these numbers each and every day in real time, I think it gives us, a little bit of an advantage to some extent. So I did come from the financial space. I did it for about 8 or 9 years. I ran another company where we helped small businesses grow all over the country. Businesses that couldn't get funded anywhere, we were able to get them capital and help them grow. And it was, yes, it was done in a form of a business cash advance. So we're using some of the same formulas with this asset here. And a lot of the same technology. So a lot of the ingredients, the same ingredients that we did to make that, that company successful. We hope to do with the sports card advance product. So even though a lot of people are not used to, the word advance, and maybe they're looking at it from, a different perspective, I think this makes a lot of sense for a lot of collectors that are sitting with high-end cards, or investors that are sitting with high-end or mid-range cards for that matter. It doesn't have to be a $10,000 card. It doesn't have to be one card. It could be a lot of cards, that are worth $1,000 a piece, or as low as $400 or $500. And if they have 7 or 8, and somebody's looking for 5,000 or 8,000 or 10 or 20,000, they can put those cards together. That actually works out better for us because we're looking for diversification, on our portfolio, and we don't want to just take in, one card. We'd rather take in, a basketball, a baseball, or a football card. Gives us a little bit more diversification. But we think that the product's got a lot of there's some good opportunities with it, and for someone that doesn't want to go through a whole process of getting a loan, a personal loan, or taking equity out on their home or what have you, and needs 25 or 30 or 40 or up to $100,000, if they're sitting with the equity in their cards in a vault somewhere, or in their house, or dealers that are sitting with cards in their display cases, and these cards have been sitting around, we look at it almost like as if they had apartment, those cards that are sitting in those dealer display cases, it's almost like if they owned all these apartments, and they weren't collecting any rent on it. It wasn't doing anything for them. With this product here, you can pull some quick capital out, and on a short term. And I think that based on how we price it out, it works out to be somewhere around that 2.5 to about 2.5% a month, 3% a month, give or take. So if you can find a way to make more than 2.5% or 3% a month, then it works for you. This is not a product for you to take out in advance and pay your bills with, or pay your uncle back or something like that. We want to deal with guys that are looking to flip and have opportunities to earn over the next 6 months, have opportunities to invest in other assets or other cards that they can earn that money back, not just take the money out and blow it somewhere and then have, a weekly payment. So we hope that based on from what I'm seeing right now, we're dealing with some we've got some good deals that we've already done, and there's, like I said, opportunities with a lot of card store owners that need capital to grow, and hopefully we'll be able to provide that.
That's awesome. So, speaking of like the cards that you're intaking for this sports card advance, so right now, currently for your portfolio, what are you seeing the diversification of your portfolio? Is it a specific sport that you're seeing more of, like football? Are you seeing more of the off-season sports that aren't necessarily getting love right now in the hobby, to where they're getting the liquidity out of those cards so they can spend more money on this football cards or more on basketball cards because basketball's coming up soon? I mean, do you have any information on that as well?
So obviously, if you ask me that question probably 3 months from now or 6 months from now, I'll have a better, a much better answer for you. But from what I'm seeing right now, a lot of basketball. Obviously, people don't want to sell their basketball, so a bulk of the deals that are coming in are basketball that they want to hold over and see what happens over the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Been seeing a lot of Kevin Durant, rookies come in. LeBron James, Topps Chrome, a lot of LeBron stuff. Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic, Trey Young, players that you don't necessarily want to sell right now, but maybe you might want to sell in 3 months or 6 months from now. So, and since the max term is 6 months, it gives that investor or collector the opportunity to, see what happens, right? It gives them the opportunity to wait and see rather than to sell those cards now and not get the proper market value. But we've also seen some football come in, a nice mixture, I should say, a nice mixture of stuff. But I believe that this product can work in off season, right? If we're in off season and you want to buy football and not sell your basketball, then you can go and take some capital out, and vice versa, right? Now might not be the best time to sell baseball, so we might start to see some high-end baseball start to come our way. Maybe we're seeing also some cards that sometimes don't have a lot of comps right now, right? Stuff that's coming back from PSA that might be numbered at a 10 or numbered at a 5, that they may not want to sell right now, but we can put some capital in their hands. And those cards right there are probably the most challenging ones, because there's no real market value. And I think a good question or a popular question that a lot of people ask is, how do you come up with the market value if there's no comps on it? If you're not getting any data from Cardbase, how do we do it? And it's always a great question. Obviously, there's a couple of different ways we might compare it to another card, a similar type card, to try and get some idea. And then, of course, we do have like an internal, what we call internal source of qualified dealers, qualified guys in the hobby that we will reach out to and ask, what would you pay for this card? Where are you at? And then we'll do like an average blend. We'll ask 4 or 5 guys that are on our, in our Rolodex, sort of say, and are willing to help us. So those are the most riskier ones, because there's not a lot of comps on it, right? We want to be able to give a fair market value. It's easy to do with like cards like, LeBron James 2003 Topps Chrome PSA 10. There's enough market sales out there that we can come up with a price, right? And when we come up with the market value, we come up with a fair market value, which is right around eBay comps, right? We're looking at, in some cards, we're looking at the average 3-month running average, combined with the last few sales. And in some cases, we're looking at the last 30 days. If it's vintage, maybe we're looking at like the last 6 months average sales, combined with the last few sales. But when it comes to those hard to, those cards that are, where there's no comps on it, that's where the risk comes in. So sometimes we'll pass on them. There are ones that we'll just pass on, and we may not approve right now, because it's just, or maybe the market value that we put on the card, the borrower is not, maybe they're not happy with the market value, and we say, well, maybe it's better off that you hold on to the card. Maybe, the guy who owns the card Dillon always thinks their card is worth,
Yep.
right? So
Yep. Always PSA 10 when it might be a PSA 6 or PSA 7 instead. Yep, I
yeah.
completely understand.
Or just like, a numbered card that, let's say it's numbered to, you know, 10 or numbered to 5. We had that example just this past week where, a gentleman thought his card was worth, $20,000. And we compared it to a few other cards, and we sent it out to several good sources. And, those sources came back and said, it was less than, half of that, somewhere in that, $8,000 to $9,000 range. And when I get the same people saying pretty much the same thing, then I've got to go down that route. These are experienced guys that I'm, that I have some faith in, and that was a deal that we just, we might pass on. So, we're taking the risk on our side, and some of those low numbered cards sometimes are not as liquid as a card that's selling on a regular basis. So.
Yeah, I gotcha. I mean, and also you're looking at other players too, like comparable players there in the league, maybe some cards that might be in that same checklist as well from that specific set, kind of seeing what the values are there, kind of determining star power of the player and things like that too.
Sure.
But with let's talk about the factor rate a little bit as well. I know you brought that up during the first portion of this. So kind of talk to us about the factor rate. How do you guys determine the factor rate of a specific card, and kind of go over that a little bit?
So we do what we call risk-based pricing, and the risk based on volatility, sales volume, grade on the card, grading company. So we put all these things together, and that's how we come up with a factor rate. The average factor rate is somewhere around that 1.15 to 1.16 over a 6-month period. So like I said, around 2.5% a month. For every 10,000 that we advance out, the payback on it is 11,500, and that's divided, over, let's say, somewhere between 16 and 26 weeks, depending on what the customer wants to choose. Right, the lower the term, the lower the factor rate. If we have to go out a little bit longer, then the factor rate is a little bit higher. Right, but the average is somewhere around that 1.5 to 1.6 range, give or take. On a 6-month term. And like I said, they do get an opportunity to pay off early. If they pay off early, we give them a discount. If they request to have that card, paid off in a month, then we'll justify that by the lowering, giving them a much bigger discount off the balance, right? So obviously, if we do a 1.15 factor rate and they're able to pay that card back in 1 month, then we're probably going to take somewhere in the range of maybe 10 points off of that. We won't know what the discount is until the customer comes to us and raises their hand and said, "I would like to pay it off early." That's when we come up with the, with the discount, because we had some people say, "Well, what is the discount?" Well, the market could change in a month or two, right? You never know where the card is at, but we want to be as flexible as possible, right? If the borrower wants their card back, that's the goal. We want to give them the capital, let them work with the capital, but our goal is to get the advance paid off sooner than later, right? The only just to be fully transparent, we have the advance percentage, right, which we're going up to 70%. The average is probably somewhere right now at like 60%. So for round numbers, like I said, 10,000 advance. The advance to market value, let's say, is 60%. That would be a $6,000 advance at a 1.15. The only other fees that come out of that is an origination fee that we charge, which comes off the funding amount, and that origination is origination or platform servicing fee to vault it, service it over the course of up to 6 months, insure it, and that ranges anywhere from as low as $99 all the way up to about $795, depending on the advance, right? So we don't go anything over $795 on the origination fee, and that's based on, like I said, the advanced amount. So that's the only thing that comes out. There are no other fees whatsoever. So that would come off the funding amount, and then he would net out. So if there was a $395 fee on a $20,000 advance, it would be 20,000 minus the 395, and then he would net out the the difference on that. But factor rates is just a simple, much simpler way to do this, because it's just a flat cost to utilize the capital, in simple terms.
Gotcha. So when it comes to the advance itself, the range, what's the range that a collector or an investor could receive from their card based on the value of their card?
Uh, we're doing advances as low as 2,500 all the way up to 100,000. So we're seeing, like I said, we're just getting started with this right now, but we're probably seeing an average of advance right now somewhere between that 16 to $18,000 range. But we've done a few that were a little bit larger. As we go forward here, obviously we're going to probably raise the max amount. As we start to see some bigger cards, we'll probably raise that max amount probably up to 200 or possibly $300,000. But obviously we would need the cards to do those type of numbers there. So got to start from somewhere. So
Exactly.
the key for us is trying to build, credibility within the program, and to show people that we can service it properly. They're vaulted properly, they're insured properly. So as we move along here, hopefully we expect to see some bigger cards that people want to give us, some at bats on. So right now, the average probably is somewhere in that 18K range, give or take. But we'll go as low as, like I said, $2,500.
Gotcha. And I know there's a program as well. If there's someone that does not have a card that they want to send in for the Sports Card Advance program, but they want to still be involved in the program with Investacard, there are other options as well for you to kind of be the middleman in between the parties. So kind of give us a little more information about that.
In regards to like our consignment, or
Like the broker program, the consignment, things like that, having that person that kind of brings you some of the leads when it comes to people who might have these kind of cards that are interested in something along these lines, or actually helping you work out the deal itself.
Yeah, so a big part of our building this business is on the broker side, signing up brokers that can generate what we call deal flow for us. A big part of my business that I created in the last company was through brokers, or what we call ISOs, independent sales organizations. So a broker that would regularly sell, let's say, insurance or what have you, can do the same thing with this product here. If he's got a laptop and he's got a passion for the hobby, and he knows cards, and he's good with numbers, and he's got some sales ability, within a couple of minutes from his laptop, he can get somebody approved and get them into funding. So what we're looking for is to build, a broker division throughout the whole entire, country, where we sign up brokers and guys that maybe do a lot of shows, that can set up as a sports card advance broker. We give them marketing materials, signs, we give them full training, and they can create, a separate revenue stream for themselves through, selling sports card advances. They can also, create a book of business for themselves with residual income by, customers that come to us. They might want to renew, right? If they pay off their advance, they can renew. And if they have their balance paid up to about 70%, they can also renew. So this could be some good retention business there for brokers. So yes, we're looking to sign up brokers. So guys that have experience and they have a passion for sports cards, we're looking to get them signed up, and I think that we can, someone that potentially could do this full time and generate a pretty nice income for themselves. On the other side of the business, yes, we still have our consignment business. So a customer that's coming to us for an advance, they can also use our consignment business. Maybe there's some lower end slabs that they're still looking to move, which they can send through our partnership side, where we either sell it on eBay or one of our live shows or like whatnot. So that business is still in place there. If somebody has an advance with us and the market goes up on it and they want to sell their card, they can utilize our partnership side of the business, where we can sell their card for them. If we sell their card, pay off the balance, they still own 100%, so they would receive the the rest of the proceeds. And if they have an advance with us and we sell their card like on eBay, we're not looking to add any additional fees to that. So if we sell their card on eBay, we take the eBay fees out and they get the remainder of it. So we're not upcharging, for that part. And it's the same thing as if the market were to go down on that card and maybe they're 4 months into the term, and they want to sell the card, we would take care of the balance. And if there's some overages on it, they would receive that minus any selling fees, whether it's eBay or whatnot or what have you. If we sell it internally, then there's no fees on it, right? So we don't want to mark up that side of the business. So that's an advantage to them. And we're also going to start running some promotions as well. If you use our program, if you get an advance and you do have some consignment cards that you want to sell, some lower end stuff, we're going to do some special discounts on selling fees where we might sell your cards at 90, we receive 90% of the value, and start to do some promotions like that. The goal is to bring new customers on, have them try out the platform, try out the service, and experience it, right? Because I think we've got a pretty good program, good servicing here, great technology, and a lot of the stuff is fully automated. So some good stuff.
Awesome. Sounds great. So, Eddie, how can someone get involved with this? How can they learn more about becoming either a broker, becoming a consigner, and also getting involved with the Sports Card Advance program?
Yeah, so you can DM us on Instagram. That's always a good way. You can call in to our phone number, which you can find on our Instagram, our 877 number. We've got what we call Sports Card Advance advisors that'll help you, walk you through the whole entire process with full transparency. If you're looking to get an advance on your card, answer any questions that you might have, and as well as if you want to become a broker. So the easiest way is, old school way. Pick up the phone, dial that 877 number. You can also go to the website, fill out the form. Somebody will contact you. We like to go one-on-one with our customers, and a lot of the deals that we've been doing, I've actually been getting on the phone, because I think it's important even though I'm the CEO and I'm super busy doing several things, I think it's important for me to get on the phone with our new customers and let them know that I'm behind this 100%. And so if you want to go one-on-one with me, I can, walk you through the process, answer any questions that you have, and, get you to the finish line pretty fast. So calling our number, like I said, sending us a DM, filling out the form. If you send us a DM, you might want to send us some pictures of the cards that you're thinking about taking an advance on, and then probably within the next, I would say, couple of weeks here, they'll be able to go on our website and sort of put their own cards in, put the attributes of the card in, and they'll be able to go through the whole entire process within a couple of minutes through our website, through what we call our express online checkout, which again, we wouldn't have been able to build out without the back end and our full integration with Cardbase. So we're hoping that that's going to be live on our website, as well as maybe on some other websites that we're looking to partner up with. The Cardbase customers, hopefully we'll get to a point where there'll be a widget on Cardbase, and they can, if they have some interest in it, they'll be able to click that button and within a couple of minutes get approved for a sports card advance. And we're also looking to do that by signing up other affiliate partners with our express online checkout, let's call it widget, that I think could help other platforms monetize on their customers to generate some affiliate commissions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I know we've been talking about some integrations with Cardbase and such, so we'll probably see some more of that coming to the app and things of that nature for Investacard. But yeah, check out the description below. I'll actually put some information in the bottom below for your website, and also the phone number as well for our Cardbase users to check out if they want to do some sports card advancing of their own. But if you like this video, hit that like button, click that subscribe button, and push that notification bell. So every time we post a new video, you'll be the first to know about it. Eddie, you have any final words on this evening before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not signed up with Cardbase yet or not using Cardbase yet, now's a good opportunity because we as a company utilize it. Super user friendly, up to date, comps. And if you're using another platform, try out Cardbase because uh, I think there's a lot to see on Cardbase versus maybe some other platforms that are out there. And the only other thing that I want to say is. Um, it's a brand new product. It's a new thing for the hobby, right? And people sometimes are, scared or, they're worried or they've got lots of questions. We want to be 100% full transparent with this. So if you do have any questions about anything about the program and you're thinking about maybe pulling some equity out of your card that you can use the capital for anything, don't be afraid to call because we want to go through the whole entire process with you from start to finish and give you the three or four main things, which is, how much we can advance you for, how much it's going to cost you in full, and how long it's going to take you to, to pay it back, and some of the other flexible options that we have. I think this is just the beginning for us. This is just 1.0. I think 2.0 of our capital finance product, our capital finance side is going to be, helping store owners out, even if they don't have, advance, and even if they don't have cards to put up as collateral. We want to build out another product where we can help store owners, grow their business either with inventory or maybe they're looking to open up a second store or a third store. So maybe somebody that's out there is looking to open up a store. We want to build that product out into our finance and really fuel the hobby. So this is not a get rich type thing where we're going to be in it for the next 6 months and be done with it. So we've got a lot of people on our side right here. It's got a lot of technology experience, a lot of finance experience, and we're looking to really grow this out over the next couple of years and sort of be that funding arm for the hobby for someone that wants to grow their business or be able to take capital out super fast. So going to work with some of your customers over at Cardbase, and we're surely looking forward to what the future holds between Investacard and Cardbase.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is stay tuned because Cardbase and Investcard have a lot coming your way. Make sure you keep an eye on us on social media. And like I said, I'll put all of our information in the description below. But Eddie, once again, thank you so much for joining us on our YouTube channel. We look forward to talking to you real soon.
We appreciate it, Dillon. We will speak to you soon. As always, invest in the best with Investacard. Have a great rest of the weekend.
You too, man.